eating biscuits. Is it a autumnal joy? For some people. I feel like now that you are back in the homeschool rut, the school run, the pounding to get out work done before the holiday season rush, this can be a time of year where everybody's getting stressed and frazzled, and their coach is turning into a pumpkin. Their fabulous glass slippers are cutting into their feet. I don't know what other Disney references to make, but you get the idea. And so, what are ways, and you know, biscuits, that I love to talk about self-care on Patreon. Oh, what's that? Am I obsessed with self-care? Yes, I am. You know why? Because not enough people, especially mamas, but everybody, not enough people actually tend to their health. And I mean that physical health, mental health, their emotional well-being, right? Because it's just not something that we consider important, right? We think of it, at least here in the US, as an indulgence to tend to that, right? You're kind of a delicate snowflake. Why do you need all this special stuff? Instead of looking at it as a joyful part of our lives, right? And this is something I have really been working on in this season of my life, right? I've really tried to be gentle to myself. I'm trying to be thoughtful to others. I'm really trying to make an effort to not let the current climate of, let's say grumpiness in this country bring everybody down around me or myself. And that includes adding in self-care elements that make me happy for my October, right? Okay, first thing, I'm gonna make a little list because I love lists. I just find them, my brain is scattered. I am a goldfish that goes through life going, shiny, oh, what was I doing? Oh no, oh, shiny. And that's just how I am, always has been. I would like to blame like having young children or postpartum hormones, but really, let's be honest, that's just my brain all the time. So the first thing I did this year is I actually sat down and I thought about what would I like to wear for Halloween. So a lot of years I don't dress up for Halloween. I'm busy getting my son a good costume or planning trick-or-treat things or decorating for it to make everybody happy or working on Spooktober over on Instagram, right? It's just easy for me to forget about myself in this season. So this year I thought, what would be a costume that would make me smile? And I found two options. And this is a really good example of how to prioritize self-care in your life, but then really be practical about it too. The first was a costume that I really liked. It was really awesome. It was like $250, I think it was $230 for the costume. And I said, that's crazy. Like, this costume will bring me joy, but will it bring me $230 worth of joy? The answer was no. So I found, I think it was $28 costume online, and it is a cow onesie. Now, I would never normally wear onesies. A lot of my relatives actually wear onesies for Halloween. My sister and brother-in-law all dress as giraffes every Halloween, which is adorable. They're just like a matching family for giraffes. It's so cute. It's adorable. My brother loves to wear a Pikachu onesie. So they've been trying to hook me into the onesie cult. Yes, the adult onesie cult for years, and I have resisted. Because I thought, oh, I'll look silly in it, or my body will look bad in it, And I thought, well, what silly reasons, I am worrying about how I'll look, which is really what? Me worrying about what other people will think of how I look. So I bought my cow onesie. I will pop it on probably Instagram to show you, because it's still coming in the mail. But the reason I went with that was, one, I was being practical. The other costume would have brought me a lot of joy, but then I would have been anxious about how much money, and it would have bitten into our holiday budget. So no, I was going to be practical, but I got something that's equally silly and fun. And that's something that is really important, is embracing the silly and not caring about what other people will think of you embracing the silly, right? So I got both my son and I matching cow onesies. We're gonna be farm animals for Halloween, and I'm gonna put baby in the baby carrier, and I'm gonna wrap her, because onesies are huge. Those they're like pajama onesie things. I'll be able to button her into there, so we'll both be cows together. Because I thought, oh, no one will see her costume, because she's still little enough that she goes in the baby carrier for Halloween. So we're gonna be moo cows, and that's funny, one, because I make so many moo cow jokes. Breastfeeding. I have been breastfeeding for so long. I have been breastfeeding for, this month marks 7 years. 7 years of That's longer than many people's marriages. The Dadas are planning to get their own like tropical vacation when they're done breastfeeding, and I reminded them they've got a little while to go, and they're like, well, what if we do like a non-retirement, pre-retirement vacation? I told them, no, think about that. So the cow joke works. We've been reading a lot of farm animal books. We love gardening, so I just thought it would be a fun thing to do. So get goofy, get silly, do something for yourself for Halloween is my point of that very long-winded rant. Get yourself a costume. Get yourself a treat that you really like for Halloween. Make sure while you're taking care of everybody else's needs on Halloween that you're also meeting your own. Because you will be such a nicer person to participate with during Halloween to everybody in your family if you're tending to your own needs there. So whatever that might be, it might be a treat, might be a drink, might be a costume, might be a book. Maybe you want a saucy Halloween read. Ooh, something a little steamy that you read after hours. I've got you covered. Scroll on over to my author page. But otherwise, just, grab a book that you like the look of. This is a time of year where I really enjoy reading a romance book to help myself go to sleep. Even though sometimes they're so saucy that you then keep reading and you're like, oh, I need to go to sleep. But you're like, I really want to know what that character looks like shirtless. And then I put a time limit on myself when I'm reading a lot of romance books. Do things for yourself that make you happy for whatever festive season you are celebrating. And, okay, I'm looking to see if anybody can hear. Okay, this is a big one. Say no to crud that you don't want to do. Now, I failed at this year because I bought another Halloween gingerbread house. Did I show you biscuits on here last year? We built one last year. I can't remember if I put it on Instagram or here. And we always do a gingerbread house at Christmas time. You biscuits know it never goes well. It never goes well. And you know why? Because I'm insistent on building this perfect gingerbread house, and Abraham just wants to cover himself with icing and eat all the candy. And so this year, I'm just going to go with it. I'm like, it can literally be a mound of crushed gingerbread with like one candy on top and some icing all over the dining table, and I will be good. Yes. So I failed in saying no to the gingerbread house, but what I realized once I got it, I went, oh man, why did I say yes to this? Is I was anxious. I was mad at myself for saying yes to this project because I had this big pressure that I was putting on myself of what this project was going to mean instead of what my son wants, which is just to sit with me for a little while, eat a ton of sugar and candy, and make a mess. And I went, oh, well, we'll just do that this year. So keep your expectations in bound, but learn to say no to things you don't want, right? I'll get invited to things and I'll just have to say, no, I can't. And right, it makes us all uncomfortable. I can feel my shoulders going like this, up to my ears, like, oh, I don't want to say no. I want people please at all costs. Don't people please at all costs. No, you know what? The cost is you, and you are more valuable than anything in this world, right? We are all wonderful and valuable. Don't undervalue yourself and think, oh, I'm just sacrificing a day of my life. No. Life is short, life is beautiful, life is way more beautiful and feels less short if you learn to say no. So learn to say no this Halloween season. Don't go to all the trick-or-treating things. Don't feel like you have to go to events that either you don't feel safe at, maybe because of the Rona, or you just don't want to do. Cut back on activities. Just enjoy being instead of having to do for other people, right? It sounds simple, but it's maybe one of the hardest things for us parents to learn because, man, are we programmed to like, please, people, please. And then you get to a point where you burn out and you're grumpy and mean, right? Don't get to that point. I got to that point earlier this year where I was just overwhelmed with how much work I had to do, like in every aspect of my life. And what I've learned to do is I asked for help. That's another one on the list, is ask for help. Know when you need it and know what kind of help you want, right? I feel like sometimes we'll just ask a relative for random help and we won't actually get the help we need, right? Especially too when we have young children. We're like, oh, help me with the baby or something. Know what you need help for and ask the right person and get that help because you can't do it all. And I think we've got to stop expecting ourselves to be able to do it all. Let something slide, ask for help when you need it. Do fun things for yourself and learn to say no. And, oh my goodness, will your Halloween be so much better and happier. Isn't this a year where we have learned, Biscuits, haven't we learned by now? The goal is happiness. That's what our life should be giving us. We should have an overabundance of happiness and joy. Everything else can come second. If our life isn't making us happy, and trust me, that then makes our whole family happy, then what the heck are we doing with our time? We aren't making good use of our time if we aren't making ourselves happy. So go out there and pursue a Halloween of a following, an autumn of happiness. It's a wonderful thing. I think it's totally worthwhile. It's why this month on Patreon for all of October, I'm going to do a ton of Spooktober, Halloween, ways that self-care actually integrate into this month, right? Practical ways, real motivations for actually making our lives happier, making our lives more playful, embracing both the saucy fun and the earnest importance of loving our lives and ourselves, right? That's a priority. It's important. It really is. Okay, that was my PSA. I will see you in the next video, Biscuits. Give me a big old hug. I love y'all. Go take care of yourselves. Have a fabulous Halloween. Make it happy.